Starbucks announced a new change to their policy today. Apparently, now you got to buy something if you want to hang out in Starbucks and use the bathroom. It's funny that this news came out now because I feel like we're still sort of in the middle, especially in New York City, talking about congestion pricing for people who are driving into Manhattan. And that really is what Starbucks is doing with this. They're basically doing congestion pricing for homeless people. And just like with congestion pricing, people are reacting to the story like all pissed off. Like, oh, well, I guess I know where I'm not going now. And I guess they're expecting somebody to like argue with them. But it's like, no, that's the point. We don't want you. And we're glad that you're not coming in. I don't go to Starbucks and I don't drive into Manhattan, so it doesn't really bother me. But in the times that I do go to Starbucks, it is kind of a mess. And there's just like, random people sitting around. So it's like, maybe if they do this, maybe if they even raise their prices, it'll help, turnover a little bit, which I have no problem with. What's interesting, though, is that this story kind of gets to the whole idea of the third place. This is something that goes around a lot in online discourse. Something you especially see from like Gen Z young people. They're always talking about the lack of third places in society. Now, the idea of the third place is supposed to be basically your first place is home, second place is work, and then there's supposed to be this third place you go, which in this case would be like Starbucks. But it's anywhere that's you're kind of in public, but you're also like, it's a place you can go. It's not like a park, but it is just like a place you can go and be social and be in the community. And I think this is kind of the perfect Gen Z complaint, the lack of third places. This is perfect because they're complaining about something that kind of never existed, or at least not the way they picture it. The way people talk about third places online is always like it's a place you can go at night, and it's not a bar, and it's kind of affordable, and you can stay there for as long as you want. Oh, also, it's safe and like clean. The problem is that, that exists in like a few parts of maybe Japan or like Germany or something. But overall, it's always been a very rare thing to find. I live in New York City, and we barely have that stuff here. And this is New York City. You would think you'd be able to find it. You can find it in bits and pieces, but there are very few coffee shops that stay open past 9 o'clock. Why would there be? I think the problem with the way that people talk about third places, especially like young Gen Z types, is they have no sense of what life used to be like before all of this technology. Gen Z types who are like in their maybe early 20s now, they grew up not watching TV. They grew up having stuff to do that's more fun than just sitting and watching TV. So they have no sense of how much TV people used to watch. People used to come home from work and watch like 5 hours of television. And not even TV they liked, the way you watch a Netflix show that you're addicted to. People used to watch TV that they didn't even like. Just some cheesy CBS sitcom that was followed by 3 more sitcoms. And it wasn't even like the shows were that funny. And they also had commercials. So, but you would just watch it just because it was on. And that's what people did at night. People like talking about like, oh, we don't have shopping malls anymore. Young people can't go to the mall like they used to, which is true. But I think the thing people have to understand about hanging out at the mall, because I used to hang out at the mall, it wasn't fun. It was kind of boring. You're having fun because you're with your friends, but it's not like the mall was like an interesting place. We went because we had nothing else to do. If we had all this other stuff, we would have been doing that, but we didn't. So we just sat at the mall for like 5 hours in a row. Ironically, it was actually Starbucks that kind of pioneered the idea of the third place. I think the other misconception people have about Starbucks and about their business model in general, people like to think that Starbucks came in and replaced a bunch of like mom and pop independent coffee shops. That's not true. Before Starbucks, there weren't that many coffee shops in general. Maybe if you were in like a big city or like a cool college town, there would be like one or two kind of old timey coffee shops with, couches and like big cups of hot chocolate like you see on like Friends or something. But overall, before Starbucks is what started coffee in America. It's the reason why there's a coffee shop every 2 blocks now. Before Starbucks, the quality of coffee was even worse. As much as people complain that Starbucks coffee is burnt and tastes bad, it's like before there was Starbucks and like specialty coffee, people drank instant coffee. It was the kind of stuff you get at like a gas station now or like a bodega. It wasn't, high quality pour over beans that were ground specifically for this method and, everything's all artisanal. That didn't exist. Starbucks is what got people drinking lattes and what got people used to, premium espresso drinks. What's funny to me about the third place thing is that people always say, you see it on like Twitter, people are saying like someone should really start a third place. There should be a place for young people to go at night where they don't have to drink beer. And it's like, who are you talking about? Are you talking about like the government? Is the government supposed to open a coffee shop that you can hang out at? By the way, a coffee shop that can hold the entire city at once? It's like that. It's similar to the problem of like when people talk about Uber or like, Seamless and all the delivery apps, is that when all those apps came out, they were being subsidized to keep the prices low. And so we all got used to using those apps. And then eventually the subsidies ran out. So they had to raise their prices and charge the full amount. And now it feels like it's way too expensive. And now everybody's like, oh, what happened to Uber? Uber used to be so cheap. Let's bring that back. And it's like, no, there's no bringing that back because it never really existed the way you think it did. It was always fake. So Uber's never going to get cheaper again. Why would it? They need to make money. And it's like, why would somebody open a business that doesn't make money? Why would Starbucks let you hang out and not buy anything? What's in it for them? That's why when somebody says that someone should start a third place, I always want to say like, hey, how about you do it? Yeah, you should start a third place and I'll stop by and hang out for like 2 hours and I'll charge my phone and I'll probably use the bathroom. And that bathroom better be clean or else I'm getting this place shut down.